Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I am participating in an open challenge. It is called Thrift Flip Road Trip and it's hosted by Crafting Cousins and Unicorn Dust Designs. I will be making 3 DIY projects. Let's get started on the first one. Now here is a thrift store find that I found many years ago and I've just never done anything with it. You know, it looks like it has that sugar coating like you would do on the fruit back in the day, and it just sheds like crazy. And I'm not really excited about the arrangement in it, and I will be keeping the roses because I do like that. But I've got to come up with something for this pumpkin. As you can see, it sheds, and painting is just not going to do it. So let's see what I can find. So my idea is to take some tissue paper and I'm going to crumple it up and I'm going to Mod Podge it on. Now I took everything out of the pumpkin except for, you know, the pieces that you see. I kind of like that to be in the middle because I like the height, and I will be bringing back the roses and some other items. So I'm going to go ahead and put just lots of Mod Podge here on the bottom. We're going to get the bottom stuck down first, and I'm just going to use this whole sheet of tissue paper and then I will trim it once I have it on. So let's go ahead and just put tons of Mod Podge on here. All right, so let's get this on. I'm just gonna push it down. I'm not trying to smooth it out or anything because I do want the creases. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a little section here all Mod Podged up. And a little bit more over here. Okay, let's push this on here. And I'm just going to push it into the creases of the sections. All right, now that I have it all done, you can see I have all this left over here at the top. I'm just going to cut it off with my scissors. Let's get this all trimmed off. And I may trim a little bit of that excess that you can see on that one side. So I need to go ahead and get some Mod Podge over the whole thing before I do some painting. And like I said, I'm probably going to trim some more of this, or like in this section here. I don't know if I like it that thick. Now that it's all dry and I did trim off some excess, I'm going to paint it with my Delta paint called Terracotta. It is my favorite orange to use for pumpkins. And I'm probably going to have to do 2 coats on this. But once I get done with the first coat, I want to do one more detail to the pumpkin before I add the second coat of paint. So let's get this finished up and let it dry. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm taking these pieces of jute that I cut and I'm just going to hot glue them into the creases of the sections. I wanted to give this just a little bit more texture. Okay. And I could leave it the way it is, but you know, I think I just want to go ahead and paint it again. So we'll put our once this is on here, I'm going to do my second coat of the terracotta. And let's just finish this up really quick here. But I am loving the texture of this pumpkin just from the tissue paper. Okay, let's get this last one on. Now I just need to paint it with one more coat of the terracotta, and then I want to do some highlights to it. Okay, so now I have my paint dry. I'm going to be using my pigskin on here, and I've had to have it watered down just a little bit. I'm going to brush it on, and I'm taking a damp paper towel and rubbing it off. And I'm just randomly going to go around the pumpkin and do this because I just want to have the little bit of the highlights. And as you can see, this color, the way it's looking, coordinates well with the faux wheat up there. I'm just going to get this continued on. And then when this is dry, I'm going to be fixing the floral arrangement. Okay, so here it's done, all nice and dry. And I have some picks here, little pieces of other picks. And these leaves came off of another pick that I had. So I'm just going to be sticking these in. I like that this is styrofoam, so that kind of helps out. Okay, so I like those 3 leaves like that. And how about this little piece here? Need to cut it down just a little bit. It's a little too long. Let's kind of bend these out, fluff everything up. Okay. All right, how about this piece? Actually, I want to curl these things because those were on there. Get those curly cues going. Stick this piece right here. And have this little feathery looking piece in a dark brown, and then I have some also in an orangey color. So let's put this one over here. There we go. And how about one more of the orange ones? Well, maybe not. Let's go ahead and put this in first with this little piece that came off of another pick with some berries on it. And we need to start sticking those roses back in. Okay. Got one over here. And another one over here. And let's see if this will fit in here. There we go. And how about these berries? I don't know if I want to put those in there or not. Let's kind of fluff it out here a little bit more. Got to get it tweaked. And yeah, we'll put some more of those dark brown feathery looking things. That looks pretty. All right, but I'm not done yet. No, I'm still going to add some more stuff in here. So let's go ahead and get these berries put in. And I'm going to use some of those flowers that are from Michael's that I just love. I love this color. I'm going to tuck a few of these in. All right, let's put one, how about right over here? Get this last one in. If I can get it in there, it's a little not wanting to go in. All right, there we go. Gotta do a little fluffing here. Okay. And, you know, I could add a few more pieces. I might, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is just now. I kind of like this. But it could possibly use a few more pieces kind of in here. All right, so let's go to project number 2. What is more free than getting styrofoam in your packaging when you order something? So what I'm going to do is I got a line drawn here. I'm going to cut through both of these with my styrofoam cutter, and this is brand new to me. I just got this. So I'm not very good with it yet. Didn't get perfectly straight, but that's okay. So what I'm making here is I'm making books out of styrofoam. I'm going to be making 3, and I'm going to stack them together. So I do need to cut a couple of them here. All right, let's move this away. All right, what I'm doing is I'm going to be Mod Podging on this tissue paper. Got it crumpled up. And as you can see, this is not perfect here. Like I said, I got to practice with this. But that's okay. It's going to make it look aged. This is going to be where you see the pages. And this is my good end here. So I want to just get this covered up and kind of make it look a little wrinkled. I'm going to bring it over to here. And I will be cutting this off. Okay. A little bit more Mod Podge on here. Make sure I got plenty. I'm going to press it down. Okay, and then we're just going to cut it off. And then I will get the other side done. Got one more side to do. Okay, let's get this on here. Put more Mod Podge on it, and then I'm going to let it dry. And once it's dry, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to put a lot of little cuts into it to kind of look like the pages of the book. Because the first thing I'm going to be doing, here's my paper. I'm going to get this on here. I just printed this off. I don't need to cover the whole book. This is my bottom book. Let's get this lined up. I kind of placed it on there earlier. And I don't need to cover the whole top of this either because the other book that's going on here is the same size. Now my top book is smaller because I didn't have as much of the styrofoam left, so the other one will get a full page on there. Let's go ahead and get this down. Get it smoothed down. Okay, and then I'm going to be painting the sides with some buttercream. Get this all painted up. All right, so once I had that done, these are the one that I started on and another one. Now what I did was I took some burnt umber and I just have a very wet paintbrush. I'm just gonna put it on really quick here. And then I'm gonna rub it off with a damp paper towel. And it's not the best looking thing, but you know, this is a first time for me to do this, so. But that's okay, you really don't see the back of the book, and you know, when you decorate with it, you can kind of cover up the sides too. But I like how it does give it kind of like an aged look to it. All right, so now that these are done, this, like I said, this is the smaller one. So I'm just gonna hot glue this on top. Okay, make sure I get enough on here. And line it up. There we go. And that's the back and the sides. You don't really have to see any of that. You can always cover it up with something. Okay, so now I printed off the paper and then I put it back in the printer and printed off this Thankful, Grateful, Blessed. And I got it to fit the right size. I'm going to cut it. Okay. Make sure, see if I can get it to fit the way I want it to. Just kind of press it over here. And the reason I did this is because I don't have any kind of transfer rub-ons or anything, or even a stencil that I could use in that space. So I thought this would work the best. And I did it in a coordinating paper that I thought looked great with the other colors. Okay, let's get this last one cut. And then we're going to Mod Podge this on. Think about right in that section. All right, got the Mod Podge here. Just going to get it all over the back of the paper. Make sure I get enough. And we're going to line it up and press it on. Okay. And now that it's dry, I'm taking one of my paint brushes, has a pointed edge, and I'm just kind of pressing it in the crease area there. Okay. There we go. Make sure that's in there good. All right, so the next thing I want to do is, I'm not liking how this looks, and I don't even know if I'm going to like this, but I'm going to take some of my jute and I'm just going to hot glue around and just kind of frame this out. I'm going to do it on all four sides. You know, I also thought about cutting off the books on the back here, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Like I said, this would be the back, this would be to the wall anyway. Now I'm also taking some of the jute and tack it down here in the spot, and I'm wrapping it around like 3 times on this end of the book. Okay. And then I want to add a few more embellishments over here on the left side here of the books. All right, you know what? I changed my mind. I took that off and I actually used that first ribbon there and I put it on first and then I did the wrapping of the three. So now I'm taking these two ribbons here and I hot glued the other one on and I'm just going to make a quick bow. Get this cut off. Okay. And I want to do my ducktails. It's kind of hard to bend that. Okay, let's try to get this here. I'm going to flip it around. It was backwards. Here we go. All right, just kind of bend it a little bit. So I'm going to hot glue it right here. Okay, and I want to add some more of the jute, and then I have some dark brown ribbon here. Okay, and then I also have some of this creamy, I don't even know what you could, some kind of string that I have. I'm going to knot them all together. And I'm just going to hot glue them in right here to the bow. Now I have a lot of people asking me about my hot glue gun. It is from Hippo. And they had sent this to me, you know, a while back, and unfortunately I don't see where they make these anymore, that they're available. But there is one that is really similar to it on Amazon. So I'll have the link down below if you're interested in it. And it is the same price as what the Hippo brand was. And I do love it. I loved having a cordless one. All right, so we need some more embellishments here. So I have this pick. I don't really care for these acorny looking things. So I'm gonna cut those out here. Yeah, I've never have liked those. I got this at Hobby Lobby many years ago. I love everything else about it, but not the acorns. They just don't look like acorns. All right, so let's cut these out. Okay, get the last one out. And I will be putting these aside. Okay, don't want to use them. And I don't know if I'm going to use everything out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the pieces off here. That one just pulled off. And this one pulls out. I like how they just pull out sometimes for you. All right. Okay. So I'm going to figure out the leaves that I want to use. I'm going to cut that little piece off there. Okay, and hot glue it down. All right, I think I want to use these, kind of like the red. Punch a color on here. I love this one. We tuck that one about right there. Okay, and I like this yellow one. All right, and probably not going to use the green ones. Let's kind of move these around. Let's go ahead and cut off these little berries. I'm going to use the berries in here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and cut the rest of them off. We'll use those right there. Okay. All right. So now I have some of my real acorns here, and I picked out 3 of them. And I'm just going to hot glue these on more in the center. Some glue on here. Okay, let's put one like that. So I'm having a hard time getting my glue out of here. Yeah, let's get some on there. All right. And let's get the last one put on. There we go. All right, so another thing I want to do is I have this little piece of wrapped wire. It has some floral tape on it. Came off of another pick, and I'm just using my paintbrush here and making little curlicues out of it. Okay, and I'll just tack these in right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's how it turned out. I think this is really pretty. I'm not sure if I like this, but that's okay. So when I do decorate with it, I'm probably going to put something on top of it here on this side. Now, this is my last one. Okay, this is the ugliest one, I think. Got my terracotta here, we're going to paint it. Another thrift store find. I like the shape of the pumpkin, but I almost passed it up. I can't really remember how much I paid for it. It was either $1 or $2. That was it. But I just didn't like the colors of it. And I thought I'd eventually paint it, and I'm finally getting around to it, so it's kind of nice. We're going to make this where this will coordinate with the books. There we go. Much better. Now I'm taking this jute color, and I'm going to paint the stem with it. Okay, let's get this painted. Go really carefully here along the end of the stem. Now once the stem is dry, I will be adding a few details to it, and I'm also going to be adding some more details to the pumpkin. Okay, let's get this finished up. All right, now that it's dry, I'm taking some of this brown iron oxide, and I'm just going to be putting it on. My brush is damp. I dip it in the water first and put it in the paint. And the stem does have some little ridges in it, so it's going to make them pop out. Let's put some more over here. And a little bit more here. Okay. Get this all on here, and then I'm just going to take a piece of paper towel here, and I'm just going to be dabbing it. Just going dab, dab, dab. Just there. I think that looks great. Now I'm taking my IOD mold here, and I'm going to be making some of these leaves with my air dry foam clay. I'm going to make 2 of the small leaves here and 1 of the bigger ones. So I'm just pressing the clay down in here. I'm going to roll it on a little bit, and that's just actually a piece of a dowel rod. Comes in handy as a roller. And I just need to clean this up just a little bit with my X-Acto knife. Okay, let's clean that up. And again, I'm going to be making 2 of these small ones here. All right, there's that one. And let's go ahead and do the big one, show you what it looks like. This pressed in again, spread it out. Okay, roll it a little bit, turn over and flip it out. And this one needs to be cleaned up too. So once these dry, I'm going to be painting them with the Delta Color jute. And then I'm going to be adding some details to them. So here they are, all dry. I'm going to take some of that brown iron oxide, and just with a really wet brush, I'm going to brush the paint on. I'm going to bring out all the details of the leaf. And I'm just going to take my damp paper towel and go tap, tap, tap again. I'm just tapping, tapping. Needs just a little bit more. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Let's do the sides. Okay. All right, so I'm going to finish the other two and then let them dry. And now I'm going to be adding some details onto here, and I'm taking that same brown iron oxide with a really wet brush and putting it in the creases of the sections. Okay, and again, just going to wipe it off just a little bit with my damp piece of paper towel. And let's go around the whole pumpkin and do this. Pumpkin was just a little blah looking. Okay. So I'm going to continue doing this around the whole pumpkin, and when it's dry, I'm going to add just a little bit more details to it. So it's almost dry. I decided to go ahead and bring my pigskin in here, and I'm just going to be brushing it on really wet and wiping a little bit off. And I'm going to go around the whole pumpkin again, just like the other pumpkin that I did earlier. I kind of like having this golden yellow color on here. I think it looks really pretty. Give some details. All right, so once that's done and dry, I'm going to be gluing on the leaves. Okay. And these are still flexible, which is nice, what I like about the foam clay, because I do have to kind of pull it down there. I'm just going to hot glue them on. See how flexible they are? Now, if I would have waited a couple more days, it would crack if I tried to do it. But if I just wait until the next day, then it's still flexible like this. It's going to get a lot of hot glue on here. I'm going to press it down. Okay, just like that. Here we go. Make sure it's sticking. Got a little bit more glue I got to put right here. I didn't get enough. There we go. All right. Now, got a little touch up right there. There we go. Little pieces weren't sticking well. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put the other two pieces. I think I like this one here. Let's get it all glued up. Okay, press it down. And one more. There we go. I think I like that. Get all the glue on there. I have to tell you, I'm really loving this pumpkin now. I'm glad I didn't pass it up. It is much better. Okay, I could leave it like this, but no, I want to add a few more details to it. So again, I'm going to be taking my real acorns here. And I found this one here that was together like so, and then another little one. So I like the way these look. So we're just going to hot glue these on. Let's figure out where I want to put it. About right there is good. And stick it on. There we go. And then we'll put the other one right here. We'll have a little cluster of acorns. All right. Again, I could leave it like it is, but no. I'll do just a little bit more, but it is pretty this way. Let's just add a little bit more details to this. I think it just needs some curly cues of something. So here's what I found in my stash. This is a pick that had some green berries on it, and I took all the berries off. And I think this looks great to be on here with the acorns. Figure out where to put it. Okay. I'm going to do it, a little curl the cues up a little bit more here. You can use a pencil or your paintbrush to make little curly cues with, or a pen. Okay, let's pull this off. There we go. I like that much better, being more curly cues. Let's fix this one a little bit. Okay. Got to bend it a little more. This one's a little hard to bend here. It's a lot thicker. I think it's going to fit perfectly right here. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go ahead and hot glue it in. And stick it right there. Just gonna put a little more hot glue over here on that side of it. Tweak it just a bit. Pull off all those spider webbies. Okay, there we go. Now I really, really love this one. So much better than it looked before. All right, so now let's check out how all three of them look together in a little display that I did. Alright my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and that I could give you some ideas how to revamp some of those thrift store finds. I want to thank Crafting Cousins and Unicorn Dust Designs for hosting this open challenge. Now be sure to check out everybody else's videos because you don't want to miss what they have done. I do have the playlist link down below in my description box. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day and I will see you next time. Bye for now.